Let Garmin show you how to install a LiveScope transducer to the bottom of your Garmin spy pole. For this process, you will need a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, 3mm hex bit driver, and a 5mm hex bit driver. Adapter discs will be provided with a spy pole designed to fit any of the Garmin LiveScope transducers. First, remove any attachments on the bottom of the spy pole using a 5mm hex bit driver. Next, remove the top half of the shaft cap using a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Feed the LiveScope cable through the bottom of the spy pole and through the top of the shaft cap. Now, install the cable sleeve. Insert the loose end through the bottom half of the shaft cap until the plastic O-ring sits in the cap. Feed the transducer cable through the cable sleeve and out of the bottom hole in the shaft cap. Now, insert the cable grommet into the slot at the bottom of the shaft, with the larger hole facing down. Press the cable through the split at the bottom of the grommet and into the hole at the bottom of the spy pole. Slide the LiveScope transducer bottom shaft mount onto the end of the spy pole. Place the nut and insert the bolt through the bottom shaft mount. Hand tighten the bolt. Tighten the screw and nut using a 5mm hex bit. Next, we will mount the LiveScope transducer to the bottom mount. We will be using the LVS34 transducer for this installation. Choose the right adapter disc for your LiveScope transducer. Remove the plastic adhesive on the back of the adapter disc. Align the pegs on the LiveScope transducer with the bottom shaft mount. Then, place the LiveScope transducer. Insert the mounting knob and hand tighten the LiveScope transducer to the mount. Make sure you can orient your transducer in forward mode, down mode, and perspective mode. You might need to make cable adjustments if you have trouble with orienting the transducer due to the transducer cable. Now, reassemble the shaft cap once cable adjustments have been made. Insert and tighten the screws of the shaft cap using a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. You can install the spy pole on your Garmin Force or Force Pro trolling motor. Make sure you adjust the spy pole shaft so the transducer does not make contact with the trolling motor and propeller. First, we will loosen the head screw on the depth collar ring using a number 1 Phillips head screwdriver. Then loosen the depth collar holding the shaft. Pull the shaft up and above the trolling motor at least 7 inches for full clearance of the propeller. Now, tighten down the depth collar. Then, slide the depth collar ring back into place and tighten the head screw using a number 1 Phillips head screwdriver. Now, we will install the included cable clips to secure the LiveScope transducer to the side of the trolling motor. You can mount the cable clips on either side of the motor. You must use the existing screws from the trolling motor mount if the spy pole is mounted on the same side as the trolling motor's cables. Remove the 2 screws on the cable clip using a 3mm hex bit driver. Align the spy pole cable clip behind the metal cable clip and the 2 holes on the side of the trolling motor mount. Insert the bottom screw into the cable clips and tighten using a 3mm hex bit driver. Then, Insert the top screw into the cable clips and tighten with a 3mm hex bit driver. Next, remove the adhesive strip on the other cable clip. Place the cable clip on the back side of the trolling motor mount. Ensure your spy pole can turn to each stopping point. Then, route your LiveScope cable through the cable clips. Place the plastic covers over the top of the cable clips. Press the top half down to secure them. Repeat this process with the other cable clip. You will need to use the backing plate to secure the cable clip to the trolling motor mount if mounting on the opposite side of the mount. Place the backing plate behind the two holes on the front of the trolling motor mount. Align the cable clip with the two holes on the backing plate. Insert the two screws and tighten using a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. Now, remove the adhesive on the back of the other cable clip. Place the cable clip near the back of the trolling motor mount. Ensure your spy pole can turn to each stopping point. Route the LiveScope cable through the cable clips. Place the plastic covers over the top of the cable clips. Press the top half down to secure them. Repeat this process with the other cable clip. You will need to install a locking ring onto the end of your LiveScope transducer cable. First, place the O-ring. Align both halves of the split connector together and lock them into place. Now, route the LiveScope transducer cable to your GLS10 black box. Plug the cable into the transducer port and tighten the locking ring. And that's it. Thanks for watching. For more help, please subscribe to the GarminSupport YouTube channel or visit marinesupport.garmin.com.